Outlaw Sports is brought to you by Molson Canadian, made from Canada, and Rocky Mountain Barbecue, Alberta barbecue cuisine at its best.
What does Jim Barker get paid a year?
I don't know.
Well, Christ, why don't they just give me half? Because I told them right out off the
everybody's
get-go,
been telling him that.
what the hell are you doing keeping Lemon around for so long? I mean, it's obvious he doesn't have a grasp on it. Their season is pretty much gone, and I guess Steven Jyles is the answer coming off the 9-game injury list.
Yeah. If Steven Jyles is the answer, what's the question?
What took so long?
I guess so. But, well, he was hurt, right?
Yeah.
And who knows if he can throw. He's
Yeah.
coming off a rotator cuff problem and an injury that the Winnipeg Blue Bombers said, let's send him away.
Yeah.
Let's go with Buck Pierce and a prayer. And that's what they've been getting away with.
You know, if you're going with Buck Pierce with the injury bug
Yeah.
that he's had, things can't be too bright.
Right. So where do the Argos go from here? They can't get much worse, right? 2-7 in the first half. They only beat the Stampeders and the Rough Riders. It's been downhill since week 1 with this team.
Sure, yeah.
And the funny thing is, if you watch the inside of the Argos on TSN, it's just a so-so program. But the funny thing was, their offensive coordinator gets out there and says, "We're going to be a team that wins with defense and special teams." That was the offensive coordinator saying that. Shouldn't they win with some offense?
Well, they're bad just all around.
Right, and
Yeah.
they don't have
Yeah.
any playmakers either.
Yeah.
That doesn't help. Brandon Rideau, I don't think he's all that impressive. He's a guy who can stretch the field a little bit, but they got nothing underneath. Copeland can't do what he used to do. It's tough. He's trying to ask for the ball, and they threw it to him once last week.
Yeah.
It's a bad situation in Toronto, and I think they're going to get crushed again.
Let's move on to the Saskatchewan Roughriders beating Winnipeg over the weekend. And of course, everybody in Saskatchewan thinks with Ken Miller back and Andy Fanteau's coming back that they're automatically going to the Grey Cup.
Right, because now everything is fine. The 2-7 first half is over with. They've got their coach back. They got the savior back. Everything's going to be cool. I'm surprised that they had so much energy coming out against Winnipeg, and obviously I think Winnipeg was pretty flat in that game. I don't expect the same thing to happen when they go back to Winnipeg and they face that crowd. It's not going to be that easy. It's just funny. Immediately you get text messages after the game. Ryderville is back, baby. Right on. There we go. You know, all is well now. Greg Marshall's out and winning is back in. So we'll see if that continues. I don't think it continues.
No, I don't think so either. And Winnipeg, it was interesting. I was, watching the game, and you heard Doug Brown make a bit of a speech talking about a 1-7 team shouldn't be able to talk to a 7-1 team.
Yeah.
Well, you guys are 7-1 right now, going in, into Labor Day. There's a lot of football to be played yet. To me, it was almost like, how dare they? It's almost like arrogance has seeped into that locker room a little bit.
Right, and I think, that speech was sort of interesting in that the fact that he says that you guys be careful what you wish for. When you proclaim yourselves as Swaggerville, you have to go out every week and prove it. And I think he's the one that's sort of going, come on, kids, relax. We've had 8 games here. And sure enough, that's what happens. They have a little bit of a stumble. But that team is going to be interesting. There's always a team that comes out with a first half on defense and just baffles the other team's offense and just overpowers them. And then it gets figured out. It straightens itself out. And they're going to need some offense to win in this second half. They're going to need some big plays. They're going to need to run the ball with some efficiency. Fred Reed gets the ball a lot, and he's got a low average. He's not breaking the big gains that he used to. They're going to need some big plays, and they're going to need some scoring from their offense, or they're not going to be able to sustain this and win the East. Now, I think that's their easiest road to the Grey Cup is they have to win the East. They have to make sure Montreal plays on the road at least once in the playoffs.
Well, they want to hope Montreal has to go to Hamilton.
Well, that would be nice, right?
Yeah.
And Hamilton had a nice weekend against Montreal. And the one thing about the Ticats is they have, I'm pretty impressed with their defensive coordinator. I think he comes up with some good game plans. Obviously, we saw him here in Calgary,
Yep.
Corey Chamberlain. And their offense, it's hit and miss sometimes, but Avon Coburn seems to be the spark plug. If they got a nice little running attack there, and he sort of brought an attitude to that offense that they needed from the past years. They weren't getting it done with DeAndre Cobb over the last couple of years. That was a big change for them.
What did we always say about Kevin Glenn?
He's a 500 quarterback.
And what is his stats?
Yeah.
58 and 58 now, I think. Isn't that
Something like that, yeah. And they're 5-4. Is that what their record is right now? Yeah. So, which is, you could see them being 10-8 coming out of the season and being in the mix to host that playoff game. Their games against Montreal down the stretch will be crucial too.
With 4 losses, I have to ask you this, and the injury bug has really hit Montreal hard. How concerned are you if you're the Owls?
Concerned in the way that it's really tough to sustain winning when it's the same group of players and they have to be motivated to go out every week and win these games. It's kind of tough now. They're not leaps and bounds ahead of other teams as they were the last couple of years. So they're going to have to manufacture some motivation somewhere, and it's going to be tough. I don't think the injury bug has hit them harder than anybody else. Obviously, losing Shea Emery last week was sort of a big deal. He's an underrated linebacker, and I thought possibly the Canadian of the Year for the first half. And that's going to be something that's going to have to alleviate itself. Obviously, it hurts in the ratio as well, so that's where they struggle a little bit. They had to take Eric Wilson, one of their best defensive linemen, out to maintain ratio. That hurt because the running game hurt him against.
And with Emery out, the trash talking goes down quite a bit too.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, he's one of the most despised players in the league.
Yeah, but he backs it up with play, right?
Yeah, he does, but he's still despised.
Well, that's fine. You're not supposed to be liked on defense, right? I like that guy when he hits me, when he's coming after me.
Boy, that was a likable hit, wasn't it? Yeah, no, he does get under the skin. Wally's World, where do you see them? Because right now, as I look at it, Ian, it's anybody's ball game right now. I mean, you got the teams that I don't think have enough to get back in, but either Saskatchewan or BC will sneak in.
Oh, I think BC is definitely going to sneak in now. If they can beat Toronto this week, they're going to be on their way. That's a 3-game winning streak at a time when they desperately needed it. That team is I thought at the start of the year was going to be a contender. Now they came out of the gates horribly. Again, horribly. But it's sort of, you can understand it why they have so many young players, guys like Sean Gore and Akeem Foster working their way into that receiving core. They actually benched Paris Jackson and Kamau Peterson, then cut Peterson. That's the type of thing that you go, well, they're going to have some growing pains. There are going to be some tough nights. Now, picking up Arlen Bruce was huge. He had a great game against Toronto. And when he's your 4th receiver or your 3rd or 4th option, that's pretty good. And when Giroy Simon is still doing what he's doing, having a great year, that's going to be an offense that's going to be pretty hard to contain down the stretch. They have to find out if they can actually run the ball a little bit. Andrew Harris is one of those. He's a versatile Canadian back, but he's not an every down guy. I wouldn't be surprised if they actually make a move and pick up somebody, maybe an Archie Whitlock or something to that effect down the stretch.
Can utility be a poster? Can utility keep you up at night, dreaming? Can utility put thoughts in your head? Depends on what you mean by utility. Introducing the new Porsche Cayenne and Cayenne S Hybrid. Lighter, more agile, more efficient. More Porsche than ever.